There is no way, no possible way for me to express my opinion about this movie without sounding like a troll. Because that's what this movie does. That's what Batman v Superman does. It makes you feel complicated about something.
Oh, you mean I can just call it shit?
I mean, you could call it shit. But were you not laughing in the theater with me? Were you not entranced by what in the hell you're watching?
Well, it's not like I stepped in the shit. That's more of like Zack Snyder's shoe. So it's funny to watch that, I guess. I guess that we take pleasure in other people's misery.
I mean, I don't feel like this is misery. I just find this as a kind of
Oh,
cure. I really sincerely don't. I look at this and I'm thinking, wow, there is. Woo!
I can tell you he's miserable though.
Excuse me. I was miserable in the sense that of the musical cues, which we'll get into quite a bit. But everything outside of that, I was just like, wow, this is just creative misfire after creative misfire. There is so much crazy going on, from performances to plot points to just overall tone. It's it's one of the more fascinating bad films I've ever seen. But when I say bad film, I don't mean like it's bad in the same way I say, like, say, I don't know, like latest bad movie is bad. Like, I would watch this 1,000 times over before I'd ever watch freaking 50 Shades of Black.
But let's just be honest here. Let's just call it what it is, and this movie is a catastrophe.
Oh, it is a
It
catastrophe.
is a catastrophe. Uh, this is the kind of thing that you go, like, if you go to a race to see a car crash, like, if that's what you're waiting for, you don't have to wait. That's every waking minute of this movie, a complete crash,
I
a
mean,
burn.
I can't think of, all right, I can think of a handful of good things about the movie, legitimate good things about this movie, but everything else is just, like I said, a creative misfire after creative misfire. It's a 20 car pileup
Yes.
of a movie, but I can't look away from it.
Yeah.
It tickles a perverse part of my brain that I am kind of ashamed to admit that it exists, but I think everyone has that. It's not like a guilty pleasure or anything. It's like it's that Willy Wonka state of mind where it's like, oh, the tension's unbearable. I hope it lasts.
And
That
I'm guilty of that too. As you said, I was laughing too.
yeah, it,
But but inside, Ben, inside, the people are good. The people are still good. And inside, I was just really hurting at certain points, and not because poor me. I had to go see a movie that I knew was going to be a catastrophe from day one. It was just, I felt so bad for Ben Affleck. I felt so bad.
yeah, he is. I mean, like, of the few bright spots in the movie, Ben Affleck as Batman is kind of a revelation of sorts. He kind of, in one movie, he kind of catapulted himself to the forefront of the best Batman ever. When you think about it, yeah. I mean, sure, that's a short list, but like, when you look at that on paper, Ben Affleck, Batman, you didn't think of anything. You thought, like, really? Like, he made an Oscar nominated movie. Actually, I think he won Best Picture for that. I don't think he won Best Director, but he won Best Picture for Argo. Then all of a sudden, like, he's like Hollywood's golden child. Now he can have like anything he wants, and then, like, all of a sudden he wants to be Batman, so he's Batman. So that's what I think everyone's thinking is going into
Right,
it. Yeah,
right,
but then
right.
he comes around and he kind of gives us a Batman we haven't seen before.
Well, you're right. It's a Batman that we haven't seen before. Does that make it a good Batman? Just because we haven't seen it before.
I will say that it's a Batman that needed to be in a better movie. I think the only reason why the Batman doesn't really work in this movie is not because of Ben Affleck.
I don't believe. No, 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 no. I know it wasn't. It wasn't Ben Affleck's. Okay, I don't know how much creative authority he
I
had.
think very little. I think very, very little.
I hear different from some people. I hear that. This was actually going to be worse than it was, and that what we ended up with was after Ben Affleck had to tell them, no, take this out, put this in, etc. He had to weed it out to get it to where it is. We could have been without his, without his part in it. We could have been in an even worse situation.
Yeah. So I think that's just really much of a testament.
Which would be a testament
Yeah.
to Ben Affleck. But yet, I feel really bad for him. And I don't feel bad for him because he did bad. I feel bad for him because he was in this movie. I feel bad for him that the movie went this way. I'm really sad that we won't get a chance to see Ben Affleck play Batman in a Batman movie as his first film as Batman. You know, I mean, I don't know if there's going to be one after this.
I think so.
Okay.
I think like Ben Affleck is in it for the long haul. As long as WB knows that, you know, like our Justice League movie is on the rocks. There's, you know, like our extended universe is, you know, like 3 seconds away from being, you know, like taken behind the barn and shot dead.
Yeah.
But we can always bank on a Batman movie pulling our asses out of the
But
fire.
you know what? It's really sad that this is his first Batman
Yeah.
appearance, and I really feel bad for him because he got so much heat just for being at Ben Affleck,
And then he turned out to be easily the best part of the movie.
Yeah, he was the best part of the movie, but
Yeah. And I think
there was still problems. And I don't. Sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but right off the bat, we gotta put this out there. If you haven't seen this, or if you somehow aren't in the know, Batman is this is not the Batman you're used to at all. This is a really different Batman, and not necessarily for the better. It really, at what point does he not become Batman? Because he straight up murders motherfuckers in this movie. That's not what Batman does.
I mean, there's no getting around it that, like, there's no... Zack Snyder pretty much, like, I think Zack Snyder went on the record saying that, like, you know, it was the original Tim Burton Batman film that opened the gateway for Batman killing people.
So let's, go by a bad example of how to write Batman, and let's build off of that.
Well, it made a fuck ton of money. I mean, that's all that Warner Brothers really cares about in the end.
Tim Burton did fine on the first Batman. The second one was just... You probably already know how we feel about that.
Actually, I don't think we actually went on the record. I mean, I've been on the record. I reviewed Batman Returns with Film Brain once upon a time ago.
We don't like it.
Oh, it's easily the worst. It's the worst Batman film. And no, you motherfucks, Batman and Robin is fun. It's a fun movie to sit through.
It is.
It's dumb as shit. It's fucking dumb as shit, but I can't not watch that movie and not smile.
And you know what? The lighting and the colors were really fun.
Yeah.
They were really comic book.
Yeah.
And not in the way like panels and the fucking Hulk. It was like, colored right.
It was like a stage play. I mean, like everything looked like a sound.
Everything felt steady.
Yeah, it's steady, but it lends itself to a charm. And I'm thinking about that movie and I'm laughing and I'm smiling.
And it had mobility.
Yeah,
in a way that a lot of films that try to be like a set or a comic book page will often fall short. Like this one martial arts movie, I can't remember the name of it, but it had oh god, what's his name? I'm having a moment.
No.
The guy who played in Hellboy,
Ron Perlman.
Thank you, Ron Perlman. There's like this martial arts movie where he plays like a woodcutter, and yeah, it's a really weird movie. I can't remember the name of it, but they tried very, very hard to be... Their whole big gimmick was that it was like a comic book pages, and it just turned out horrible.
Yeah, whenever you try to bring up comic book panels in a comic book movie, I immediately go back to Ang Lee's Hulk, which I won't defend, but I will say it's not nearly as terrible as everyone has made it out to be. Mm-hmm. In fact, actually, Ang Lee's Hulk and and Batman v Superman have a lot more in common. I mean, like, the end results are different, but it's rooted in a misunderstanding of the source material.
Yeah.
And how, like, creative, like, there is a definite creative energy and spark that bore this film we watched, but in service to the story and in service of the characters that are so entrenched in the popular mindset that to have any kind of like immediate left turn, you're just going to leave your audience just completely in the dust. and with those thoughts in mind, like it's no wonder that I immediately think of Ang Lee's Hulk, and that's also probably why I can't really hate this movie. I mean, I can't even put it in my top 10 worst films. I literally cannot do that because I can watch this movie again. I can, and I can watch this movie again and just kind of think about where this film went wrong. You know what? I think I pointed this out. This movie is bad in the most intellectually nourishing way possible because it forces you to think about where it went wrong, where was the original idea behind it, that how did that original idea end up like that?
But you do have to kind of be that kind of person to begin with to get that exercise.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be, I'm sorry to say, a lot of people who just aren't going to do that.
Yep.
And well, you know what? I just don't have any defense for it. I don't know.
I mean,
Where
like
am I going?
this is my own personal viewpoint to this. I mean, I've always liked I always liked looking at a bad movie, but actually see where it went wrong and then just kind of Tetris my way through. Why did they do this? And a lot of it kind of, and reading behind the scenes of this project, a lot of it had to do with the fact that they had to edit out 30 minutes of this movie to make it PG-13.
Okay.
So like when the hard R's.
Oh, so you mean the parts where Batman
I have no idea what scenes they
really kills people.
Like I have no idea what, but
Maybe he brands woman with his
I don't
with his phallic bat justice. I mean, how much worse can it get?
I am intrigued to find out what that 30-minute additional scenes. I'm wagering that 30 additional minutes will make it a better film. It would certainly make it a more evenly paced film, I think. I mean, like part and parcel of the big problem with Batman versus Superman is that it was so herky jerky as far as the plot progression goes. Like this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens.
There's a scene where
there is no like connective tissue between the scenes.
The worst part, the most glorious part was there's a scene. This is the whole movie in a nutshell, where Batman is driving by in the Bat airship. Sorry, not the
Batmobile.
It's not the Batmobile.
Oh,
the air.
The Batwing.
Batwing. Thank you. Mm-hmm. He's in the Batjet, maybe. Batwing.
In the Batwing.
He's in the Batwing, and no, wait, that's right. He flies it so low sometimes that I get it mixed up. Actually, I think it was the Batmobile. He's driving by in the Batmobile. He gets some air on it, and he's just fighting goons. Murdering some of them too, believe me. If not directly, like they get blowed up, and they fly and die. And he goes by this corner, and literally Superman just kind of was like,
"Oh yeah, that was the Batmobile."
Was that? Yeah, he was getting air on it. It's like a speed bump, and Superman is he's just right there, behind a corner, like he was waiting for his enter stage left. Seriously.
Which begs the question, like, one, if he knew where he was, why didn't he stop him sooner? Two, if he knew where he was, and how did he not know that he's chasing after an illegally cargoed piece of kryptonite?
Yeah.
That there is so much, like, there are so many questions that I feel kind of giddy asking myself.
It was almost like it was an edited in thing, because every time Superman appears in this movie, it's like really dramatic. It's a curtain call. Mm. He blasts down, and there's more of the same music actually, but it's a momentous occasion, and it's just kind of like he's just kind of strolling around the corner this one time, and Batman is just he looks out the window, he zooms into his face, and he goes, Oh,
I wasn't expecting you here.
And they just linger on this scene for a good
Zack Snyder slow-mo.
20 seconds. Oh, man.
Zack Snyder slow-mo, and then Batmobile hits Superman, and Batmobile just goes careening off.
It's just the way this thing is just like, now this is going to happen. Transitioning. Oh... Editors, what did you have to work with?
They probably had a lot to work with, but they realized that a lot of these scenes kind of led into one another, and they couldn't put it in because Zack Snyder just thought like, hey, why don't we have Superman rip out somebody's heart and then show it to their face like he was Kano from Mortal Kombat? Actually, he does that. Like, Superman does rip out Batman's heart in a dream. So I'm wondering, like, does he actually, like, fucking Kano? Does he Kano it? You know?
I know. Well, I mean, he's not the one who has the eye laser, but
No, yeah, Kano does have the eye laser.
no. Batman doesn't have an eye laser.
But Superman has eye
Yeah,
laser.
the Kryptonians have eye laser.
Yeah.
Like Doomsday has an eye laser.
Oh god, this plot is such a mess.
I mean, it would have been great to see like Superman, laser a
Yeah.
hole out of his chest and yeah.
Yeah. But that is like the fact that there is no point in trying to recite this plot because there really isn't one. There's no there's no like, all right, Lex Luthor
Luthor Jr.
I mean, they're trying to soft sell him as Lex Luthor's son, but my DC database might fail me here because I remember in certain aspects, I remember in certain universes his father was also called Lex, so like it could just be that
Well, he keeps talking about his father.
keeps talking about his father, but that's always been a part of his character all throughout every iteration of the character.
Well, you mean Lex Luthor?
Yeah, Lex Luthor talking about.
So it could be Lex Luthor.
But even though his name is Alexander Luthor, but he shortened for Lex.
Yeah.
But
Well, I heard that this was actually his son.
well,
And
like
that's lucky because when they go to the next whatever film they do, they can just get rid of this guy and this actor
are you kidding me?
and do something that can be taken seriously.
I mean, if there was a heart and soul to this,
It was him. Oh yeah.
if there was a heart and soul to this train wreck of a movie,
To a train wreck of a movie, he was integral.
yeah, like
He made this the kind of train wreck that you can watch and you want to watch. It's not a train wreck without him, I guess you could say. It's more of like a collision where there was no fatalities, I guess.
yeah,
But
like if somebody ran a clown car through a fireworks factory,
that's the kind of train wreck this is.
that's the kind of accident.
Yeah.
And it is just seeing him. All right, I've heard this performance be charitably described as if Jesse Eisenberg thought that he was playing the Joker instead of Lex Luthor, and I can certainly see it. He has like these weaselly, quick-witted mannerisms where he shifts from being like a motor mouth, propeller-headed kind of weasel
Yeah.
guy, and then just segue into like fidgety and really, really uncomfortable, just like it seems that in ancient times they were talking about like what Zeus did to the ones that saved mankind from the floods, and he got a thunderbolt for his effort.
Done.
Yeah.
Tip your waitress.
Yeah, tip your wages and then enjoy your drinks. And he's just like I'm done, and walks off stage.
Done.
He is literally like a kid in this movie.
Oh yes, there's this great point where he's he's got this whole bowl of this whole bowl. He's got this whole bowl of Jolly Ranchers, and and they cut to this scene where he's like cutting Zod's finger off or something, or
Like fingerprints off.
peeling like fingerprints off or something, and then and it cuts back to him with like the Jolly Rancher, and he's peeling the wrapper off it, and he puts it whoever the fuck that guy was.
Like some
just
U.S. representative, some
yeah,
U.S.
he's
representative.
he's going to like, what a Jolly Rancher, what a Jolly Rancher. Puts it, he's like wiggling in his lips, and he's like, frick, this guy's
Cherry.
crazy. I'll just eat the Jolly Rancher.
Cherry. What? I mean, like Lex Luthor doesn't really have a plan. He doesn't. He
was very much the Joker in this.
Yeah, he plays it like the Joker because when you think back, like, okay, why was he doing the things he did? Why was everything the way it was? Like everything, in order for everything to work out the way it did, he had to have knowledge that he would have no way of knowing, and yet somehow does. So, like was his plan always to have Batman to break into his vault to steal his kryptonite,
So
and then he just banks on him trying to kill Superman to prove some point because he hates Superman for no real established reason other than he's just like, I just learned that if God was all powerful, then he cannot be all good. But if he's all good, he can't be all powerful.
But yeah.
He's like if Alfred Ashford was on crank.
But seriously, though, I mean, as chaotic as it was just, if Plan A was to have Superman and Batman fight, and this was prior to having the knowledge from the wreckage of the Kryptonian ship, and he had knowledge after that. He says, he gets into it, and he says, "Teach me," and then his plan is the same afterwards.
Yeah.
So really, he didn't even need that knowledge. I mean, other than for making Doomsday.
So why even have Batman fight Superman if you were just gonna make Doomsday anyway and kill Superman?
Yeah.
What's the point? Like a backup plan? I don't know. It sounds like your backup plan is you're
going to become the plan no matter what happens, though.
Yeah.
Because you're making Doomsday.
And Doomsday's one claim to fame is killing Superman. So, which was why I was pissed off when I saw his reveal in the trailer, because I knew what was going to happen. You don't put Doomsday in your film if you're not prepared to kill off Superman. So, spoilers, Superman dies. Or does he?
Or does he? The dirt.
Yeah, like...
They dangle that he's alive at the end. Well, you know what? It's not... Fuck it. It's not dangling. He's in the coffin that he gets his military burial, and at the very end... see the dirt on top of the coffin start to rise as he does when he jumps. So he's fucking alive.
Because why in the fuck are you going to make a Justice League movie without Superman?
Yeah.
You begin to realize that we've been talking about Batman, we've talking about Lex Luthor, we haven't really talked about Superman. Because Superman doesn't really have that much of a presence in the movie. He has moments, he has little bits and pieces of the movie that are devoted to him and the weight of being Superman, but it's drowned out by all the creative misfires. But I wanted to go back to Batman for just briefly here and explain that Ben Affleck plays Batman like he has PTSD.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is that the movie, even though it goes into his oh God, my parents were killed in front of me. Even though they went into that, what they don't go into is what probably sent him over the edge and turned him into a murder machine.
You know what was a better Batman story than this, though?
What?
The Lego movie.
Yeah, Lego Batman. I'm waiting for that Lego Batman movie.
Yeah.
Then you do.
That was a lot better.
Yeah, gets him every time. But when the camera pans over to his collection of Batsuits, and you see a Batsuit with what looks like the Joker's writing on it.
Ha, joke's on you.
Or I got the last laugh. Yeah, and you had this feeling, oh, in this universe, Joker already killed Jason Todd. Okay. So from that perspective, I say okay, he blames himself for Jason Todd's death, and he kind of hardened the Ben Affleck Batman. And I like the fact that, even as Batman and as Batman and Bruce Wayne, the iteration's almost none. He doesn't even bother trying to act like a doofy, oh, I'm always drunk, but I'm actually really serious. No, he doesn't even pretend to do that because he's long since past the point of caring.
Yeah.
He's long since past the point of caring whether somebody finds out he's Bruce Wayne or not. In fact, pretty much everyone by the end of the movie knows he's Bruce Wayne. Like, Luthor knows he's Bruce Wayne. Superman knows he's Bruce Wayne. I think Wonder Woman finally does, because Wonder Woman just seems to know everything. Okay. So Wonder Woman is in this movie, and she's probably one of the other bright points of the movie, even though she didn't get to shine very often.
She was a good actress.
Considering what she had to work with, and considering
actress name
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, she was. She did good. She carried the accent pretty convincingly.
And I think the best of all is that even though we know she was Wonder Woman, there was enough about her in the movie to create a mystery and want you to want a Wonder Woman movie.
The only thing is, her build is not I know.
I'm
like, sorry.
You're towing some dangerous lines here, buddy.
No. What? Wait, I am. How?
Well, when your main criticism about an actress's performance is how she looks.
But it is, and it's not towing dangerous lines.
All right. Well,
It's appropriate lines.
I'm just...
Wonder Woman is a very built woman. Would you think I was going to start talking about her measurements?
No. I wasn't doing that. But any talk of any woman's physical appearance is always going to have that big old asterisk. Especially,
you know what? You're right. We should never talk about women's appearance.
Mm-hmm.
That will really fix the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Let's dance around this stuff and be really, really frightened about talking about things that are politically incorrect.
Mm-hmm. But then
even
again,
if we haven't touched it yet, let's just not get near it because that's dangerous. Fuck that shit. She wasn't the right build. I would say the same about a guy who wasn't the right build for a guy character. She wasn't the right build.
Then again,
her thigh was like my forearm size. Okay, seriously. Can you please hire one of the actresses who, one of the many actresses who would love to do that, who are weightlifters.
Well, there's not a lot of actresses who are bodybuilders.
I mean, it's like I feel like they did it not because there's not enough, but they did it because they thought that would be more attractive. Because more guys like to see a woman who's more slender. And we have this whole stupid, Hollywood slender crap going on. It seems like I would really have appreciated someone who was fucking more built and not tiny, skinny as a pole.
I don't know.
It's Wonder Woman.
I don't know. Like, would you rather be Ronda Rousey as Wonder Woman?
Ronda Rousey can go fuck herself.
She wants to play Miss Marvel.
Can go fuck herself.
The point I'm trying to make is if you have to make a sacrifice between acting ability and physical appearance, I'll go with acting ability all the time. Because I can twist my mind around a Wonder Woman who doesn't look like she could bench press 500 pounds. I can let go of that because
sure.
I mean, like,
it feels underrepresented, I guess.
I mean, granted, it does. They are like a female bodybuilder is few and far between, who also has acting chops.
I mean, that is true, but I almost feel like I don't want people to end up messing with their bodies the way Christian Bale has. I don't want people to be unhealthy or anything, but I don't know. For me, for some reason, it was a little bit off that they chose somebody so slender to play an Amazon woman who is supposed to be fucking built, like more built than a lot of comic book women are.
Although if I'm going to be pissed off at a horrible miscast, I'm actually kind of pissed off at who they got to play Mercy. You know that skinny Asian woman that always followed Lex Luthor all around?
Is that who that was?
Yeah, that was supposed to be Mercy.
Okay, who the fuck's Mercy?
That was Lex Luthor's personal bodyguard.
Oh.
Yeah. Lex Luthor's personal bodyguard is this, like a lot of punch in a small package kind of woman.
Yeah, this is where I don't read a lot of comic books, never have. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but Mercy was kind of a throwaway character, kind of like Jimmy Olsen was. You didn't even know Jimmy Olsen was in this movie, did you?
Nope.
Jimmy Olsen was the guy at the beginning of the movie who got killed. Like he was the CIA plant. That was Jimmy Olsen. He gets killed with 3 lines of the movie within the first 5 minutes. And Zack Snyder had a great quote about that. It's like, we realized as we were writing this movie that we didn't really have a place to put Jimmy Olsen, so what we decided to do was to have a little fun with it. So, like, your idea of fun is to cap Jimmy Olsen in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Okay! Now we all know what you're about there, Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
You're out of here!
Actually, Mercy got the shaft in this movie. Not only was she played by this barely there waifish Asian actress, I've seen her before in other movies. I think she was actually I think she played like. I know she was in Spider-Man. She was like the tour guide in the. She was the tour guide that guided the students in Spider-Man around the Arachnid facility.
Oh
She
shit, that was her. Now I recall.
Yeah,
Huh.
that was that.
Good memory.
Yeah,
Good memory there.
yeah, that was the same actress, and and she was just kind of like hanging around, and then all of a sudden Lex Luthor tells Mercy to like, "Hey, go inside that Senate chamber that I know is going to explode." Mercy, he kills off Mercy for no reason. One of the biggest fuck yous in this movie is a plot point about exploding a Senate meeting using a guy's wheelchair that Lex Luthor gave to him personally with a bomb in it, got him to blow himself up and the Senate hearing for no reason. There was no reason for Lex Luthor to set this up. None whatsoever. There was no point being made. This didn't help Batman like hate Superman or Superman hate Batman. This had nothing
Yeah.
to do with what was going on.
I thought that when it happened, I thought the point was supposed to be that they were going to blame Superman.
but no,
But it didn't happen that way, so there was no point.
So there was literally no point to all of this. And the best
Oh! He hated the senator. Or
like
whatever
he hated the only reason why he did it and it
It was
killed
basically because he didn't like that girl.
because he didn't like the senator who was going to block his
Yeah.
who okay, all right. He hated the senator who initially allowed him to get the kryptonite to weaponize it, but then changed her mind to stop it. So instead of like Lex Luthor sending out like Mercy to assassinate her personally, quick and clean cut, he goes the long way around to do it by not only finding a guy who got crippled during the during a Man of Steel, who just happened to be out of the film until Batman, until we kind of retconned that guy in.
Yeah.
Turn it, give him a wheelchair, put a bomb in it, tell him like, hey, your life is shit. Would you like to stick it to Superman? Or here's the worst part: maybe Lex Luthor didn't tell him that there was a bomb in the wheelchair, and he. I don't know which situation is worse, but the capper to this entire moment is that
I almost thought that the wheelchair was going to be like special.
yeah,
Like he was going to give the guy like this was a character that I didn't know about in some comic or something, and
like this is
like
going
a
to be
Xavier Wheels
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. I don't know.
yeah, because in the scene where he introduces the wheelchair, he's just kind of wheeling around. It's like, God bless you, Jesse Eisenberg. God bless you. You keep doing what you're doing for this movie. You're making this movie just insanely fun for me. But
It did feel very Martin Short at times, though.
yeah, of course. But the best part of this whole scene, and I dare say is the most genius and like, what in the fuck were they thinking? The most genius part of this movie was that during a previous scene where the senator, played by Holly Hunter, not Holly Hunter, Margie from Fargo. Yeah, it is Holly Hunter. Yeah.
Oh, is that the same person?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on. I think I'm gonna barf. Yeah.
I knew I recognized her.
Yeah.
But just,
But
I mean, she was like the only like natural actress in this film.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, her entire performance was like, oh, that's it stood out because it didn't fit with all the other ridiculous over the top bullshit.
yeah, like she was
It's
playing
like-
it. But she was playing it pretty, like an actual actress. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I know. And I was like,
Like even like Jeremy Irons, who I'll get to later, but so like she tells him like, I'm gonna block that thing that I said I was gonna allow you to do, and Jesse Eisenberg, who starts a line that says, "Do you know what the biggest lie in America is?" And she just squashes that line right there, and she says like, "You can sell me a jar of urine and tell me it's grandma's peach tea, and I still won't be able to drink it because I know what it is." And so during the Senate meeting, what happens? To her right, she sees a jar of pee that says grandma's peach tea on it.
and he just starts completely bawling.
It's like, I was like, because they were hanging on this.
You laughed. That was the hardest I think I may have ever heard you laugh in a theater. And it was during a time when everybody else was certainly not thinking this was a funny point, but you laughed so hard that other people started laughing. Did you not?
It's like Holly Hunter is trying so hard to to deliver this, to have some decorum in this Senate meeting, and all of a sudden, like she just keeps eyeballing this jar of urine just up to her
Yeah.
right. Like, how did Lex Luthor sneak that jar of urine into the? Why did he even think to do it? Like, is that his urine, or did he like pass the jar around? Like, because that was a pretty
That was a big
jar of urine.
Maybe it really was peach tea. Maybe.
And that was like his form of irony as he blows up the wheelchair and with Mercy in it. Like,
But the double, triple, quadruple takes, and the lingering and going back to the chair, back to the pee, the empty Lex Luthor chair. He's not there.
he's obviously
It's
not
like,
dead.
you know, so it's like, oh my God, where's Luthor? What is in that jar? Where's Luthor? What's in that jar? Where's Luthor? Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Where's Luthor? Is that pee? Oh God!
The best part is that I keep saying the best part because there's so many good parts that I can't even keep up with it.
Yeah.
They're like it keeps going back to Superman. It's like, hey, you're the one making this weird, Senator. Like,
It was very awkward.
it was such the feeling of crippling awkwardness was so thick.
It's
and
like there was
rich.
something throughout the entire movie that threw a wrench in the spokes. Like I don't know exactly what it was that made the entire movie thrown off kilter.
But
Wouldn't you love to take a look at
I would
just look at how this was made.
I want to be a fly on the wall during that writing session.
Yeah.
I just want to see, like, okay, why did you guys think this was a good idea? Like, what was, like, there are so many questions: the hows, the whys, the whos, the
Like, was it one person? Was it a...
was there like some kind of like meeting between like the executives at Warner Brothers? Is like,
Yeah.
I don't know, could we have a jar of urine and still keep a PG-13 rating? But not asking the obvious questions: why is there a jar of pee in our superhero
Yeah.
movie?
How did this keep happening consistently throughout the movie?
Yeah,
the
look-
whole time. It just kept... The editing, it was weird.
Mm-hmm.
The direction was so...
One of the more subtle bits of like I can't hate this movie is Jeremy Irons' Alfred, where he's basically Batman's Jewish mom. It's like, when are you
Oh,
gonna
yes.
settle down and get a family?
Yeah, find an honest woman.
Like, he's making so many like backhanded remarks of like you'll find an honest woman there at your party. You've you've grown too old to die young, not for lack of trying. He is like literally Batman's Jewish mom. It's like,
Yeah.
when you gonna get me a new goyim? I worry about you too much. I don't know why I facilitate this need of yours, Batman. Oh, Brucey. Brucey, you're breaking your old Alfred's heart. There's just there's
yeah.
so much there's so much wrong with this movie, but not wrong in a hateful way. Like, everything is bad, but it's not bad in a hateful way. You know what?
No.
I can't hate this movie. There's no part of me that wants to hate this movie, not even a little bit. I mean, it's a miserable movie when all is said and done. It's a bad movie when all is said and done, but it's an interestingly bad movie. It's an interestingly miserable movie. It kind of challenges you in a way that few bad movies ever do. And I hear people make the argument that like movies like Freddy Got Fingered is art because it's so bad. It's not so bad it's good. It's so bad it's art. Like, you have to kind of like you kind of have to like deconstruct what you're seeing just to process it. And that's this movie. It's the Freddy Got Fingered of superhero movies.
That's a pretty good way. That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Let's move to the Doomsday
Oh,
fight.
the most ridiculous final fight I've ever seen in my life. It's like
It is apocalyptic,
and that's, you know what?
and yet
yeah,
it is very little effect on the area around it.
yeah, like
Like there's a nuke that goes off. They nuke, they nuke Superman and Doomsday above the city. They Doomsday itself, from its creation to getting more powerful each time they try to kill it, as he does. He radiates these like EMP pulses and lightning and fire and lasers all at the same time, like, radiates it across the city and blows shit to just,
in
completely...
a conveniently vacant part of Metropolis. Conveniently vacant.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's this, like, 20 square mile radius that's just completely bereft of people. Well, the movie said it's completely bereft of people, so I'll trust it. Even though...
it would be afterwards, that's for sure. But the momentous powers that this is coming radiating off of this, it's ridiculous. It's beyond video game ridiculousness. It is.
I was reminded a great deal of many a Final Fantasy boss fight.
Yeah, it was like it was like spamming the apocalyptic meteors and the. It was so fucking ridiculous. There was no fucking way that Wonder Woman or Batman were going to go toe to toe. There was no way they were going to get within 100 feet of this thing without dying.
Certainly.
From these blasts.
Yeah, certainly not
that
Batman.
Are emanating from it like every fucking 5 seconds. Like a nuclear blast. What the fuck? There is no way.
And yet, there you are. Although, that kind of ridiculousness, I can just enjoy on a primal, like, yeah, set off
Like,
more fireworks.
Imagine, like, a nuclear bomb being dropped on Wonder Woman, but she blocks it with her shield. It's like, no.
Boom! I mean, I can believe that because I know Wonder Woman's backstory, so it's like, she's imbued with the strength of the gods, so she's probably, like, if not on par with Superman's strength, just slightly under it. And, like, those are weapons forged by the gods themselves, so I can believe that, her shield could withstand a blast from fucking Doomsday. Let's not switch our Marvel DC characters on us, even though they literally mean the exact same thing: Doomsday, Apocalypse.
Yeah,
but the ending part of the ending fight scene that got me the most was Amy Adams as Lois Lane, who we are told is the most important thing in the most bizarre dream sequence of all time. I mean, if you want to talk about how the editing is butt-fucking this movie constantly, Batman is having dreams all throughout the movie where he sees a future where there are Superman shock troops that are literally destroying the world and trying to protect us from an alien threat, which is clearly Darkseid because you can see an Omega symbol tracing in the desert wasteland, Omega being blah blah blah, and
and there's like wasp guys with wasp wings.
Oh yeah, that's from the world of Apocalypse.
I figured it was something I just wasn't getting.
Those are the minions of Darkseid. Okay, so, and the old gods, well, technically the new gods, Jack Kirby, but that's neither here nor there. So, like, Superman, like, rips up Batman's heart, then that was the initial, oh, is this a dream? Then all of a sudden, I think fucking Orion comes out of a boom tube and just does one of these. It's like, Lois Lane is the key! I came here too early! You gotta save Lois Lane! I am from the fourth
But
dimension.
you have to hit him! You have to get him! Superman is
who you think he is! And I'm thinking, is that fucking Orion? Because the helmet kind of looks like Orion, and Orion has this little elevator kind of platform which allows him to shift through dimensions and time.
Oh, okay.
So it's like this little platform that he just kind of rides in. Well, it's kind of like a hoverboard. It fucking changes depending on like which. Like I've seen it like as a hoverboard in the comics, but I've also seen it as this little like floating platform with a guardrail around it in like say the DC animated universe.
Better if it was freaking like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, like Doctor
Strange.
Oh, Doctor Strange.
Because that's
I was thinking of like Benedict Cumberbatch. Oh no, wait, he never played Doctor Who.
He's gonna be doing Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
but he's just like
that could be a very weird movie. I'm interested to see how that one fucking breaks down, but. I know Marvel.
But that may as well have been. It was so over the top. It was so out of nowhere. It was so weird.
Yeah, especially since like no part of this movie has led up to this. Like the only time like there was ever been a weird dream sequence is like where Ben Affleck is talking about how he always seems to dream, where he discovered bats were his fear and he floats into the sky. And
boy, they did way too many dream sequences in this.
Yeah, they did. I mean, like they wanted to. it was this sort of viral marketing scheme, just like shoot things that look weird, so put them in the trailer. To
Oh
get...
yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
It was like, oh shit, Batman in an overcoat looking out at an apocalyptic Superman shock troop
yeah,
era, and that looks really cool. It's a dream.
yeah. But
Hercules didn't. Yeah, it's like there's not actually going to. Hercules isn't the real Hercules in this movie.
But there was no way they were gonna put in fucking Orion just kind of like in the trailer. The weirdest part is that he kept.
Terrible.
The weirdest part is that he kept his arm out like this.
It was out of nowhere. It was like he hijacked Batman's dream, I guess.
I suppose. I have no working knowledge.
Batman has a dream. He wakes up, and then Orion's like, "Hey, man! Oh shit! Things be gotten real,
Yo. Oh,
but it was really bad. It was like oh god, the best way to describe it is if you've watched Metalocalypse, and the episode where they all have to where they're all making a movie, and you see how awkward they are trying to deliver lines. That's a very
oh yeah, because now that I think about it, it looked like they dubbed in his lines.
yeah. It was not Swiss. It was like Swiss Guard. He was trying to say like. Your parents is outside. We have to go get them and out there.
Oh jeez. Oh god.
Superman is what you think he is, and you have to hurry and
Lois Lane important.
the Lois
Orion.
Lane important.
Orion out. Woo! Oh. But the king of awkward moments was when Wonder Woman was sent the files from Batman, of the possible other metahumans. And so we got about like a
fucking god.
We got like a 2 minute
tutorial.
Yeah, like a 2-minute tutorial where Wonder Woman just watches video files of the Flash, of Aquaman, and Cyborg.
Yeah, they each have their own symbol. She gets the god. This was so juvenile. Like this was.
But then again, I would imagine
shit for a video game. This was shit for a video game.
I would imagine Lex Luthor would have done that. At least this Lex Luthor. This Lex Luthor would have totally.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a file, has each of their symbols on it, the Wonder Woman and the lightning bolt, and so she's like, she clicks on one, and you get to see a little demo disc of, like, where did they even, like you just get to see Poseidoning around under the water.
Aquaman?
Kind of like, sorry, Poseidon. I want to say Poseidon, but it's Aquaman.
It's fucking Aquaman.
Sorry, man.
No, he's Khal Drogo.
I'm sorry, but this version of Aquaman feels way more like Poseidon.
Which is not a bad idea. I mean, I'm all for Khal Drogo. I know that's not the actor's name, but fuck it, he's always Khal Drogo to me.
Because he has like the same kind of ethnicity as the Poseidon in God of War franchise.
Oh yeah, he kind of looks like he does kind of look like the Poseidon in God of War 3. But
so that's why I keep thinking Poseidon when it's Aquaman. This is not quite the same Aquaman. It's not the bright orange suit or whatever. But yeah, so he's just kind of like, he's just under the water with his trident and, waving his hair around like a L'Oreal commercial. And then he's like, oh, hey, it's a camera. Hey, it was like the Zoolander commercial where he's a mermaid. Merman. It was just so fucking, it was so bad, so forced.
Yeah, it is one of the most
Like, where the hell did they get these cameras? There's just the camera of the documentation of the creation of Cyborg with the whoever the hell the scientist who created him, and it's catching all these people at these moments, and it was just
holy crap,
so weird.
I realized that during our whole derailment here in this conversation, I forgot what I was going to say about what I do. Yeah, as we do, as what Amy Adams, Lois Lane was supposed to be doing during that final fight. So in the final fight, Amy Adams just throws a kryptonite spear into what like is this a flooded hallway? I thought I don't know where she was. She threw the kryptonite spear into water. I have no idea why she did that, other than to set herself up to be in danger for Superman to save her.
Why did she put it in the water?
Yeah, like there's no reason for her to do it other than like, oh no, oh Doomsday's here. Better get the kryptonite spear. And all she did was just set herself up to be in danger. That's all. That's the only reason why she did that. And the most confusing part is that like I don't know where the fuck she was. Like
Yeah.
like is like they set it up that this whole area was like a rock quarry or something like that. So or so like so it's set up that there's like caverns underneath this the immediate vicinity. So like maybe I can like using my mind's eye to try to trace a path to what they were what they wanted to happen and what they actually set up. It's like maybe like the reason why the whole place was abandoned is that the tunnels were flooded by the nearby lake. The Midwestern, the Midwest, famous for its many large bodies of water. Yeah. Yeah, and it floods the tunnels, and then like it seeped up, and then like the buildings got flooded beneath it. Except the water is crystal blue clear, just like it looked like it was in like it looked like a water temple. It looked like you were playing
yeah.
Link's. Like, hey, if you want to enter this temple, you better have the flippers. Did you get the flippers? No, you can't enter the water temple. But no. It's this weird Mobius strip of logic that Zack Snyder is playing with the audience, and he is just leading us around by the mind's balls every single frame as it goes, and that's why I can't. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I can't hate this movie.
But it is a shit movie. It is a catastrophe. It is horrible.
It's a horrible shit catastrophe.
It is a fucking horrible movie.
It is. There's very few literal. There was very few legitimate good things to be said about this movie.
The soundtrack is fucking horrible.
It is. It is.
There is no punctuation in this movie. It is just all out gongs and yeah, it's just pulsating, horrible.
Yeah. Well, Zack Snyder
really simple, and it's just bong, 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 bong.
Yeah, the music just assaults you, and Zack Snyder has a very tumultuous history with using music in his movies.
It was like Michael Bay in music.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, this is the way Michael Bay's directing sounds.
And I also noticed that like we were trying to. I was actually looking for a composer in the credits, and there were many people. There wasn't any one composer. There was just a bunch of people trying to like shift the blame for this soundtrack. It looked like
no one wanted to own up for this one.
No, I believe Hans Zimmer. Yeah, Hans Zimmer scored the first Man of Steel. I believe Hans Zimmer scored Man of Steel. Hans Zimmer is nowhere to be found on this. Nowhere. Oh yeah. This is like it's an assault of the movie. It's an assault on the movie, and yet, the logical part of my brain says that this is a terrible, terrible movie. Why don't you hate this? You've certainly hated.
Well, you were partially. It's because you were prepared.
I wouldn't even say it was prepared. Like if I had not seen anything leading up to this movie, I still don't think I would have been like hating this movie because it's just too interesting to hate. Because say what you will about Zack Snyder, he is not a Michael Bay director. He has an appreciation but not an understanding of film. So like there are certain points where you see like, well, one, he shoots an action scene way better than freaking Michael Bay did.
Oh no, I'm just comparing the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, but the soundtrack I'll grant you, but but as far as like other like. The reason why Zack Snyder isn't lumped in with the Michael Bays or with the disaster, the guy who makes all those disaster movies, Roland Emmerich. The same reason why he's not lumped in with those guys is because while Roland and Michael Bay make the same kind of movies and they always make the same kind of dumb movies, Zack Snyder at least makes a dumb movie but tries to aspire to be smart. And I think at the end of the day, like the aspiration is way more like the film that aspires to be smart but fails to be smart is way more admirable than a movie that doesn't even aspire to be smart.
I suppose so.
And
still,
yeah. You mean?
Justice League. Oh man.
But as I said, I don't hate this movie. I logically know it's a bad movie, but I don't hate it. I'll probably see it again when the director's R-rated cut comes out. So I want to know what the fuck we're missing. I need to get the full picture on this one. I think we need that for closure after what we just sat through. But now here's an interesting question. We said that it's a bad movie. We said it's a horrible movie. But we also said it is a hateful movie. Does that mean we can give it a recommendation of some kind?
If you enjoy fiascos the way we do, yeah, go ahead. But I don't want to be caught on film saying that I recommend this movie. I just did it. If you take that out of context,
I recommend. That's how I'm opening the vlog. I recommend it. I recommend it.
I recommend this movie. I recommend this movie. I recommend
this movie. You know what? I will never love something so much that I can never see it be taken down a peg or two, or just get itself involved in a train wreck. So this movie could have never hurt me. Never ever could have hurt me. And if you're share of a like mind with me, then I think you will find your own form of enjoyment by watching it. I'm not saying it's a good movie by the standard definition, but as my Uncle Joe Bob once said, there ain't no right way to enjoy a movie. So,
and if it's not gonna hurt your feelings too much, if you're not that if you're really serious about your DC comics and movies and stuff, don't watch it. But if you can accept that what it is just like such a bastardization. You're not watching you're not watching a real DC thing here. It's someone's idea of it.
Mm-hmm. It's Warner Brothers trying to play catch up with Marvel. That's just what it is. But I think we're of one mind by saying that see it asterisk. See it if you want to see the Hindenburg disaster.
DC, Marvel.
I don't know. Whereas DC is just going down in flames, Marvel's just kind of riding this one headwind that's just keeping them at a steady.
What's this? It's a Deadpool.
But that's for Fox. Technically, yeah. The Deadpool's owned by Fox, so it's not DC Universe.
It's not Marvel. It's not Marvel.
It's not Marvel Universe like the Marvel
okay.
Universe. So it's more like X-Men and
okay, I see.
So that's why you didn't see, that's why only X-Men were brought up in the movie.
That's why.
Okay. But as I said, see it asterisk. Till next time.